So long as I have the privilege of serving as your president, I will not stop fighting for you. I will take my lumps.
The president using the word fight more than 20 times on Friday as he pledged to stand by his agenda despite that humiliating defeat in Massachusetts. And we're back now with our Sunday group. So, Juan, how do you expect the president to react in the State of the Union to his political turn of fortunes? Do you expect a big change in tone? Do you expect a big change in agenda?
Well, I think the big change in tone is that rather than playing an inside Washington game, which is what Rahm Emanuel, the chief of staff, had him doing, simply thinking he had to corral the Democratic votes, the president now is going to start throwing punches, taking his lumps, as he said. All this talk about fight means that he's going to go to the American people on Wednesday night, and he's going to say, listen, I put together a stimulus package. It's been much criticized, but here are people. You know, he's going to hold up here's a teacher, here's a policeman, here's a construction worker that are back on the job because of this stimulus spending. He's going to talk about health care in terms of the increasing rate of spending on Medicare, exhausting that fund, and say, wait a second, most Americans still want some kind of health care reform in this country. We can't stop fighting for you, and we're going to protect your American families. He's going to talk about foreclosures, and he's going to say, look at these banks, look at what these banks have been doing, and we're going to try to get the banks under control. They're giving bonuses, and they're out of control. So it will be a very populist, fighting, aggressive speech.
So, Brit, assuming that Mr. Williams knows what President Obama is going to say, is that going to work?
No. It won't work at all, in my view. It may rally the base a bit, dispirited base. It may appeal to some people. But the message from Massachusetts and the other states is pretty clear. The public doesn't like the policies. And as I mentioned earlier, they don't like the results either. He needs to do better on both counts. And coming out swinging in favor of essentially the same set of policies and the same set of priorities is not going to work. Health care was never anybody's priority. It wasn't before he took it up, and it isn't now. It was his priority, and he spent...
And the liberal Democratic base of
Well, exactly. But you look at polling across the country, it's been consistent across the board. Overwhelming priority of the economy. He did one thing about the economy. The public didn't have much faith in it when it passed, that stupendous stimulus package. It broke an already broken bank. It left him with very little money to do anything else with. And then he moved on to this and spent most of the year on it. The public doesn't like it, didn't want him to be on it. Not only did they think it was the wrong thing, but when they saw the bill, they thought it was the wrong thing. So he's got to undo that. It's going to take a while. News travels fast in America. It hasn't completely reached the White House yet. In the fullness of time, I think it will.